The following is a DW Ancient Egypt production. Pepi I, who ruled from 2332 to 2283 BC, began an aggressive expansion into Nubia, and he continued trade to far-flung areas such as Lebanon and the Somalian coast. The decline of the Old Kingdom arguably began with the reign of Pepi I, as nomarchs became more powerful and exerted more authority. The pyramid of Pepi I at South Saqqara is badly damaged, and the burial chamber has collapsed. His pyramid had a height of about 172 feet. This pyramid's substructure was very similar to that of Teti's pyramid. This pyramid was entered by a covered entrance chapel, which was located at ground level and the center of the north side of the pyramid. From there, a descending passage climbed down into the rock to a horizontal corridor chamber. A horizontal passage, once blocked by three portcullis slabs, continued toward the antechamber, to the west of which was located the king's burial chamber. In this burial chamber, a pink granite canopic chest was found, sunk into the floor in front of the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus itself was found empty. It was made of a hard, dark stone and inscribed with a line from the pyramid texts. The burial chamber's ceiling had white stars painted on a black background. To the east of the antechamber was located a small chamber with three niches or magazines. Pyramid texts covered the walls of the antechamber, burial chamber, and corridors. Pepi's mortuary complex, Mieroop Pepi, eventually became the name for the entire city of Memphis after the 18th dynasty. Like his pyramid, Pepi I's badly damaged mortuary temple was built according to a standardized ground plan. After the entrance, a traverse corridor led to magazines and to a long entrance hall. The entrance hall opened into a columned open court, to the west of which was the inner temple. The inner temple had a traverse hall, followed by 5 statue niches. To the south of these niches, a doorway led to a chamber that gave access to an antechamber with one single column. The antechamber led to the sanctuary. Several limestone statues of bound and beheaded enemies were found in this temple. The causeway itself, like the Valley Temple, has never been cleared. The satellite pyramid was located at its traditional place to the southeast of the main pyramid. There are 5 or possibly even 6 smaller pyramids that once belonged to Pepi I's queens. The cult for Pepi I continued well into the Middle Kingdom. An inscription left behind by Kayamwasit, the illustrious son of the even more famous Ramesses II, described how, by his time, this complex had suffered and decayed. A large copper statue of Pepi I and his son Merenre were discovered at Heracropolis, the same location as the Narmer Palette. This is the earliest known life-size sculpture in copper. The king lacks a crown and a midriff where his kilt would have been. This was probably made of a softer material, most likely gilded plaster. Another great statue was discovered with Pepi I kneeling while offering wine to a god. This green slate statue is beautifully crafted and is the earliest example of the genre of statuary that was to become extremely popular even into the late period. Pepi I also had a small alabaster statuette featuring the Horus falcon. This is similar to Khafre's Horus statue that we covered earlier, but instead of unfolding the king's head in protective wings, the bird stands aloof on the back of the throne. Starting in the 6th dynasty, rich Egyptians outside the capital began to have spells painted on the insides of their wooden coffins. The coffin texts were closely related to the pyramid texts in that they shared the same aims, but they were available to non-royals and they were written in Middle Egyptian dialect. Most of the coffin texts date to the 12th dynasty. About 1,200 spells have been fully documented. These spells are usually painted in vertical columns, and some have illustrations beside them. The aim of the coffin texts was to make it possible for the dead to enjoy eternity. The spells enabled the reception of offerings and protected and guided the dead body so that it could join the sun on its daily journey. The god Osiris was more prominent here than in the pyramid texts. His corpse resided in a place called the boundary of the sky, and the Book of the Two Ways provided a map of the roads to him. The dead were so closely associated with Osiris that the god's name was inserted before their own. The idea that only kings would join the gods after death had totally disappeared from these texts.